Once again, good evening, my brothers and sisters, family and friends and loved ones. Today is August the 10th, 2025, with section number 11 with Dr. Dancer's injustice against the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Office, the new Sheriff Gerald Sticker, state elected officials, United States FBI Office, United States Department of Justice, and the Board of Ethics. This is the sheet I want y'all understand. I want y'all to see the document. This is the letter, certified mail, sent to the new sheriff, a Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Office, requesting, other word, I filed a felony criminal complaint with the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Office, the new sheriff, Gerald Sticker, personally served by certified mail. Dear Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Office, Gerald Sticker, I'm filing my criminal complaint against the clerk of court office, clerk of court, chief deputy, deputy clerk, and their employees and others. I attached for you clear, convincing, evident document to launch a criminal investigation against the clerk of court office, their deputy clerk, and employees by not following the rules and procedure of the court and the rules and procedure that have been set by Louisiana Supreme Court. And I allege that they have violated, other word, and committed several felony criminal crimes intentionally while in office to sabotage plaintiff case and to have plaintiff case illegal dismissed and illegal removed off the court docket. Now, y'all know I'm gonna put you up to speed. I filed a previous complaint with the new sheriff. My complaint was concealed, no action was taken. Y'all remember, we talked about that, and other state officials and the FBI. Now, here is, again, documentation showing that I sent this notification to the new sheriff, certified mail, requesting a file number and a criminal investigation. And I'm also addressed that he have authority to bring charges and to remove the clerk of court from office because his position is an elected position. Now, I requested and I advised him that none of the felony criminal crimes has been committed by these employees and the clerk of court. Now, malfeasance in office that I alleged to him, obstruction of justice, perverting the course of justice, injury to public records, filing or maintaining public record, criminal conspiracy, and others. And I asked and requested if he did not have jurisdiction in his office to refer any and all this complaint to the proper law authority that had the proper jurisdiction. But no response was ever, other word, received back from the new sheriff. I requested to meet with the new sheriff. He refused to meet with me. I am a citizen of the state of Louisiana and the Tangipahoa Parish, an elected voter that voted during the election that he was elected to office. He have a right to meet with me as a citizen of the Tangipahoa Parish and a registered voter of state of Louisiana. Now, I want to show you all, this is an affidavit right here. Affidavit, other word, by the clerk of court himself, Gary Stengel. Gary Stengel stated the affidavit. I'm going to read to you all. I'm Gary T. Stang, a person of full age and majority, who upon being duly sworn did depose and state as following. My name is, and I am the above in age of majority, resident Louisiana. I am the clerk of court for the Tampa Parish, Louisiana. He stated, I have never been personally served with my complaint or any other pleading or file according to address to his location. He also stated that he never authorized no representative of his office has been served with a conflict of other pleading of the same. He also stated, I have, other word, authorized no other person from his office, clerk of court, Tampa Parish, to accept service on his behalf. Now, this was a felony lawsuit that I filed in the United States District Court against Gary Stingle. And this is an affidavit I want you all to see that he provided to the court that was filed in court records. He stated, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct. Now, I want you all to see again. This is the affidavit sworn that was filed before the United States federal judge in District of Columbus. The District of Columbus federal judge denied to take any action on this affidavit. Now, the reason the affidavit was false and was perjury committed by, in other words, the clerk of court, I provided process server that personally served Gary Stingle and personally served the clerk of court office at the location clerk of court office in Amen, personally delivered and hand delivered this directly to Gary Stingle, the court proceeding complaint filed against him. Two affidavits, people, are serving the processor that I had appointed to serve. I ain't gonna call the name. They was filed also along with these documents. In the court, what the judge refused to take action or refer this federal criminal complaint to the United States Department of Justice, FBI. He had the authority. It was in his jurisdiction. Or the judge could have transferred the case, if he didn't have jurisdiction, back to the state of Louisiana, either proper jurisdiction, and recommended that action be taken, investigation of this. Now, these documents also was filed with the Tampa Parish Sheriff's Office, with Gerald Sticker, the new sheriff also. All of these documents, his affidavit about him being the clerk of court, Tampa Parish, the Tampa Parish have jurisdiction over him. I provided the clerk of court, I provided the Tampa Parish Sheriff with two process servant affidavits sworn, attesting that Gary Stingle and his office was personally served those federal court documents, people. And the United States judge, Gerald Sticker, the new sheriff, again, refused to contact me, refused to investigate. Now, this is also malfeasance in office, people. I'm going to read the stuff to you. He had access. I got other stuff I want to bring forth. I'm showing you all what's going on with y'all new sheriff. The new sheriff stated he was going to be different. He stated he was not going to be that same regime, but he kept the same employees. He said we're going to replace all new sheriff deputies. Y'all remember this. He was going to replace, he going to keep good deputy, but he was going to clean house, But my understanding opinion, he kept all your old people in place, majority of corrupted one. Your main 2, 3, all these numbers, he kept in office. But main thing, he refused to, in other words, consider me as a victim. He refused to investigate this criminal complaint that I personally had served to the new sheriff. Now, again, people, I want y'all to understand, I have filed motions into the court record. I want y'all to see. 21st Judicial Court record. This is right here, plaintiff motion to appeal. I'm appealing the judge's decision. He denied to stay my case pending my federal investigation in D.C. I want y'all to see the document. I appealed the document on June 11, 2024. I never received no court notice after the hearing or whatever was held. Here it is, documentation from the clerk of court office. I'm going to read it, people. The minutes. This day, this matter came up to rule the show cause, while the suspension appeal should not be granted, filed on the behalf of the plaintiff, which is me. Plaintiff was not present, nor represented by counsel. Defendant was not present, but represented by counsel. Their attorneys, 2 attorneys, was present. One from Cash Coudray law firm, and another one from the other law firm represent Our Lady Lake Medical Center. Now, think about it. The case here and the date was August the 28th, 24. Now, remember, I was never served no notice from the court to appeal for this court date here. No notice was sent to me by the clerk of court office, deputy clerk. They have a mandatory duty by law. Anytime any order is signed by any judge or pleading, in other words, they supposed to make sure they send notification out to each attorney, each party. Listen up. They never sent me notice. Therefore, the judge, the court, removed my case off the docket. In other words, just dismissed it outright. I had no more right to it. I did not have no knowledge because I would have been there because I'm the one filed the appeal. Okay? Now, again, after that, I received knowledge. I filed a motion to reconsider this right here. I filed a motion to reconsider, filed on November the 18th, 2024. Thereafter, advising the clerk of court, in other words, to replace my case back on the docket to be heard with an order, with the order, meaning the clerk of court office, deputy clerk, once it was filed, they posted, in other words, placed it back on the docket and set it for a court date. A court date was never set by the deputy clerk or the court. I never received no notification from the court again, or deputy clerk, from the clerk of court office. Again, they have a mandatory duty to replace this once I filed this and paid the filing fee. So they had a mandatory duty, not, in other words, non-discretionary, to replace my case back on the docket so I can be heard. I want you all to see. This is the order attached with it. You have to have an order attached with all your pleading so the judge may grant it or deny it. And before I did that, people. I want y'all to understand that I never had an appeal right on this. Only way I have an appeal right, the court, which is the judge, have to deny this what I filed. But the clerk of court never filed this, concealed this from the judge, from the court. In other words, they held this. Now, that constitutes other federal criminal laws violation by the clerk of court office. Now, the judge of the court never received this, so they could not deny my motion or grant it. If they would have granted, I'd have been back through the door with the lawsuit. If they'd have denied it, I'd have had appeal right to file back to the First Circuit Court of Appeal. That didn't happen because the clerk of court never, other word, sent this to the judge, concealed my complaint. Look at all of this, what I'm showing you, people, with the clerk of court office. They refused, I allege all this to the sheriff, that they refused to send me notification. I'm not getting pleaded. My motions and things are being held that I filed in the court, not sent to the judge. And if the judge grant or deny, they holding it until my appeal rights run out. All this was put in records, filed with the Tampa Parish Sheriff, the new sheriff with Gerald Sticker, asked for a federal criminal investigation. Also, these documents and everything was also filed with the district attorney's office, with other state officials, and also with the FBI. Hello, somebody. No one has considered me as a victim. No one stepped up on the plate to try to investigate none of my federal criminal complaint that I filed against individuals from the Tampa Parish area. Now, after that went down, listen, people, I filed, I want y'all to see the documents here. Again, January the 16th, I want y'all to see, January the 16th, 2025, I filed a protective order. You all know what a protective order, most of you females are aware of a restraining order or protective order. I filed the protective order, restraining order against the particular attorney, Andre Coudray, individual, his capacity as attorney, and through Cash Coudray, Bass, LT, and through their law firm. People, I want y'all to listen at this. This was filed January 2025. All necessary fees were paid, and also was paid to make sure he was personally served, or his law firm officer was served a copy of this protective order. And also on the same date, on January the 16th, I filed this was a writ of mandamus. A writ of mandamus, let me read it what it states. Mandamus is a writ directing a public office or corporation or an officer thereof to perform any of the duties set forth in Article 3863 and 3864. Now, this writ of mandamus was filed for Andre Coudray and his law firm to show cause why he should not be sanctioned or disbarred before this court. Because, y'all, go back. Remember the December the 10th, 2024 council meeting. I tried to speak before the council. Andre Coudray, being the city attorney, stood up, made all kind of accusations against me, made statement, got the councilman to prevent them from letting me speak. And I was there on the behalf as a citizen of the city of Hammond, as a taxpayer, a business owner, because I had filed previous felony criminal complaint with the city of Hammond, police chief, Chief Bergeron, direct attention, and then filed with several city of Hammond police officers. Police report was filed and made against Andre Kudre, who is the city attorney. My felony criminal complaint was filed against his law partner, Ashley Edward Bass. Kudre stood up, continued to intervene, persuaded the council board not to hear me. I think the council should have overruled. The president didn't have the power. I'm a citizen. The Chief Bergeron had a mandatory duty to investigate my felony criminal complaint. That's his duty as the police chief, police officer. But he did not. Never notified me. The City of Hammond Police Department never notified me. People, it's time for change. Now, I want to bring to your attention, think about the date. I say January the 16th. February went by. March went by. April went by. May went by. Finally, I received knowledge that the judge, in other words, set a hearing of my motions here, the protective order and the writ of mandamus in June, I think around June the 17th, 2025. Look at all the months, people. A protective order supposed to be heard expeditiously. Within 30 days, a protective order is supposed to be held, people, a restraining order. Now, how come the clerk of court office again, the deputy clerk, all of them had authority to set an expeditious hearing of my pleadings motion like I filed and requested expedited motion hearing here to be set. I paid for it. A hearing was never set according to the record until about June the 17th, 2025. Now, in February 2025, all the 21st Judicial District Court judges refused to hear this protective order. Remember, I filed on June the 16th. In February, all the 21st Judicial judges refused and recused themselves from hearing this case. And according to the court records now that I just learned, an IHOP judge was appointed in February of 2025. The clerk of court never sent me notification of the IHOP judge that was appointed. They never sent me no notification whatsoever that the Supreme Court had appointed an IHOP judge. But being said, in February, this judge was appointed. So, why in February or March or April that my hearings was not scheduled and set before this judge? This was a protective order, people. Protective order. Again, this is injustice. Now, all of this, again, went before your new sheriff. I filed a complaint with the new sheriff, the DA's office, state officials, FBI agent office, to no avail. They never considered me as a victim. Judge Sticker never contacted me. He refused to meet with me. In other words, my investigation has not proceeded nowhere. Because if it had proceeded with the evidence and document that you all have seen here, y'all know that action should have been taken. Arrest should have been made. Remember now, let me talk about this here. Malfeasance in office is an unlawful conduct that is often grounds for a just cause removal of an elected official by statute, or a recall or election, or even additional a crime. Now remember now, the clerk of court office is an elected position. So the clerk of court that I went over with you with, that committed, that I'm alleging to y'all, the perjury and fraud affidavit, he refused to take action on all these documents that forward to his office. He refused to take action on his deputy clerk by not sending me out court notices. So think about it. I'm reading the statute. Malfeasance in office is committed when any public office or public employee shall intentionally refuse or fail to perform any lawful required of him or her as such officer or employee. So even though he's the clerk of court, when I forward my case to the clerk of court, direct attention to the deputy clerk, they had mandatory duty to take action against the deputy clerks under the wing and the employee from the Tangipahoa Parish Clerk of Court office. I'm going to read again. Intentional perform such duty is an unlawful manner. They refuse. They knowingly or permit another public officer or public employee under his authority to attempt and refuse or fail to perform any duty, or the word duty lawfully required of him, or to perform any such duty in unlawful manner. Remember, documentation was sent directly to the new sheriff, Judge Sticker. He had authority to go and investigate this complaint. Other words, he had authority to arrest the clerk of court for malfeasance in office if the evidence was there. He had authority to arrest the deputy clerk and the employee if the evidence was presented to him that I gave to him clear, convincing documents for investigation and a federal criminal arrest to be made, people. Watch this again. The state willfully and knowingly subject any person to depreciation of any rights. They denied me my rights. This is the statute. Privilege, immunity, secured, and protected by the United States Constitution or law. Now, if any duty lawfully required, a public officer or public employee, when or by him to a public officer or public employee shall be deemed to be a lawful duty of such public officer or employee. Such lawful duty should not relieve that public officer or employee of his lawful duty. Now remember, the sheriff is the powerful. He have the power. The sheriff also, by him failure to investigate, for him failure to, other words, make these felon criminal arrests, to consider me as a victim, he also has committed malfeasance in office, which bring up the state police have authority next to arrest the sheriff for malfeasance. Then Louisiana Attorney General have the authority next to arrest the sheriff for malfeasance in office. And after I filed a complaint with the United States Department of Justice and FBI, they supersede any state. They have mandatory and have the right and power to oversee and arrest any elected official and remove them from office. FBI office refused. Conceal this complaint again that I filed with the office. Again, watch this. Criminal conspiracy is the agreement, a combination of two or more persons for the purpose of committing a crime. Combination to commit a crime should not amount to criminal conspiracy unless, in addition to such agreement or combination, one or more subject party does an act in further object to the agreement. Remember, the clerk of court is one person. The deputy, chief deputy is another one. Deputy clerks Also another, the employer. You're looking at 5 to 6 people in the clerk court. So they all had knowledge of this. Nobody woke up to try to help me. Now, who is the commander-in-chief? Gary Stingle. Now, I ain't saying this, but I want to make it clear. If I'm the elected clerk of court, everybody under my wing is going to do what I say do. If I tell them not to investigate, they going to do that. I'm going to leave it at that, people. I'm going to read. Fraud. Fraud is intentional deception to secure unfair, unlawful gain or to deprive a victim of a legal right. Fraud can violate civil law. A fraud victim may sue. Listen, people, the purpose of fraud may be monetary gain or any other benefit by way of false statement. I'm putting the evidence. All this went before all your state elected officials and the FBI officer and the Department of Justice. Now watch this. Obstruction of justice is an act involved unduly influence, impeding, or otherwise interfering with the justice system, especially the legal and procedural tasks of the prosecutors, investigators, or government officials. Now, I want y'all to see this. Look, read it yourself. So y'all telling me, I'm showing and proving that all of these documentation prior that I showed you all, that these offenses were felony criminal crime that I allege, and I strongly believe that, in other words, these individuals have violated while in office, but no action has been taken against none of them. By the sheriff, by the clerk of court, nobody. Now, another statute, perverting the course of justice, is an offense committed when a person prevents justice from being served on themselves or another. Now, y'all read what I'm saying. Other words, if you in a position and you stopping justice, concealing documents, you got your staff employee, in other words, to conceal a document, to lie to file false documents in the court records, then you perverting the course of justice. You cannot get around that statute. Now, I'm going to back up a minute. Y'all remember the December the 10th council meeting 2024 I told you all about. Well, I went in, presented documents to the councilman, my police report that was filed, and the city attorney kept interrupting me tremendously till he finally persuaded the councilman not to hear me. When I was addressing the council to let them know that I had filed previous complaint, felony criminal complaint, with the City of Hammond Police Department and the City of Hammond Police Department against the city attorney, in other words, law partner, which brings a conflict of interest on that city attorney, in other words, part. That was his law partner. Now, this is my opinion. I'm alleging this because I'm on social media. If the city attorney communicated with the chief of police, City Hammond Police Department, and he advised them to conceal my complaint, this federal criminal complaint against his law partner, then that constituted he perverted the course of justice as the city attorney. What he should have did was recuse himself by law because it's a conflict of interest and forward my complaint directly to the next step, which was the Tampa Parish Sheriff's Office, or the state police, or the Attorney General, or the FBI. Did not do it, people. Chief Bergeron never communicated with me, never notified me. The police officer that I filed a complaint with put the document in their hand. Police report was filed and made. never responded back to me, notified me. Now, Chief Bergeron, y'all know, y'all remember the video, the booking room, the police brutality. Nothing never was done to him. The city attorney was still there at the time. So I filed again, this right here with Chief Bergeron. Now, Chief Bergeron committed, and these police told him, in other words, malfeasing office. They refused to do their mandatory job. Was instructed, right here, people. Remember, they had a mandatory duty, non-discretionary, to investigate my felony criminal complaint that was filed with Chief Bergeron directly and with the City Hamilton Police Department. All was ignored. Again, I was denied and was not considered a victim of a felony criminal crime. From the reports that I had followed as identity theft victim, because my Social Security number entirely was obtained illegally without my knowledge, without my signature. I had no knowledge without no court order. I never authorized no power or attorney, given no kind of power of attorney or anything to release no kind of documents, people. All these documents. Then I filed an affidavit with the IRS office. They notified me to come in and file identity theft affidavit. I filed all of this. All these documents was forwarded to Chief Bergeron, the City Hamilton police officer, in records with the new sheriff, Tampa Parish Sheriff Office with Gerald Sticker. It was filed with the state police, Attorney General's office, with the FBI, and again, all of these state elected officials and appointed officials was declined to investigate my felony criminal complaint. People, y'all hear me? And consider me as a victim to a crime. Identity theft is something serious. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Identity theft is something so serious, you turn the TV on, it's on every day. Identity theft. So how in the world our elected officials refuse to consider me as an identity theft victim with all the documentation and evidence that presented to them that I forward with their office, and I showed you all on previous cases, y'all remember, that I showed you all. Now, again, not only that, I sent in a sworn affidavit attached with my complaint to each local state elected official, agent office, and with the FBI office. I sent an affidavit. I want y'all to see it. Affidavit to support my criminal complaint. Y'all think about it. To support my criminal complaint. After they refused, I then filed a complaint with the Board of Ethics in Baton Rouge. The Board of Ethics is a board governed with attorneys appointed to, in other words, investigate conflict of interest, criminal stuff for the elected official. In other words, misconduct, unlawful activity. The Board of Ethics responded back to my complaint stating that they declined to investigate the clerk of court office, the clerk of court deputy clerk, clerk of court chief deputy, clerk of court, in other words, supervisor, and the employee for all the documentation that I showed you all I'm talking about. All the document, the perjury affidavit, all that was filed to the Board of Ethics too, my people. They declined to investigate. Now, where's the justice system? Where's the justice system? As the state of Louisiana, in other words, citizen, I have a protective right to be heard. I have a protective right to live a normal and good life, not to live in fear. I have a protective right to be protected by all local, state, government, elected official office as a citizen of the Tampa Parish and as a citizen of the state of Louisiana and as a citizen of the United States of America. Where and when are we going to get justice? Now, I'm getting ready to close, but I want people to understand that the FBI have all the proper jurisdiction, can come in and step in and arrest the new sheriff, Gerald Sticker, for malfeasance in office. A new election be recalled. They can come in and arrest the clerk of court, okay, Gary Stanger. A new clerk of court or election can be recalled. All these documents went before the FBI, Department of Justice, refused to consider me as a victim, as prior. Y'all remember, prior docket number 9, prior docket number 8, prior docket, all these complaints that I'm filing so the social media can help me. I need an outlet. I'm asking y'all to please share social media, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Y'all help me. If y'all have any contact with the Black News On station, I have reached out to them, forward complaints with their office. Roland Martin, Richard Rickey, Reese Water, Black Owned Network, DC. I yet to have a response, contact. They never contacted me yet. The local TV station here won't help me. We got Channel 9, Channel 2. We got Action 17 News that cover Tampa Parish. Why won't he meet with me and he can present these documents on Action 17 News and he can question Gerald Sticker. He can question Gary Sticker directly for the front of the public. Could be aware of their answers about these documents. They can deny these documents. Where to support people? I'm asking for our black organization, civil rights organization, to step up on the plate and help me. I'm asking for the help and support of the local pastor, Tampa Parish Minister Lounge, my brothers and sisters Christians. I'm also asking for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the leader of Nation Islam, to give me some support. I'm stepping up and asking all the emails throughout the parish, the state of Louisiana, to contact a meeting to meet with me to discuss. I need y'all speedily attention to help expose this corruption against me that have taken place with these state elected officials and the Department of Justice office and FBI office, because I am a black African American who want to see justice, and I am a citizen of the United States of America that have a protective right to get justice done on their behalf, and they refuse. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Tune in another day or so to another volume. And before I close, I'm asking and requesting from the Almighty God that you hearken the new FBI Director, Kash Patel, hearken his heart so that he can investigate all my criminal complaints that his office, FBI office out of New Orleans and around the area, have concealed these numerous of federal criminal complaints that was filed with their office. That he would investigate and bring the FBI agent and these state officials, elected government officials, would bring them to justice on my behalf. we pray that God will hearken the new FBI director, Kash Patel. I want to bring it to your attention before I close. I talked about this in another volume. Y'all remember this writ of mandamus I filed in July the 2nd, 2025 in Washington, D.C., District Court of Columbus. Any lawyer out there can hear, see, I'm going to give you the case number, 25-02123. I requested to be tried by jury, not no judge. This was a writ of mandamus filed, a writ of mandamus filed against the United States Department of Justice and United States FBI. Director, the new FBI director, Kash Patel, to order his agent, FBI, to investigate all of these complaints that I told you all and talked about prior. They all listed, people. Look at the page limit. They're all documents. They're all listed in this complaint. So we praying that God will hearken the new director, Kash Patel, that he will look into my felony criminal complaint and render justice on my behalf and the public behalf. I thank you all so much for tuning in with Dr. Dantzler, the injustice. But I'm going to bring you more. This ain't all. Against the sheriff, the new sheriff. I got numerous other complaints that was filed direct to his attention. Good night. Good evening. Y'all pray for me that justice will prevail on my behalf. Remember, if justice prevails on my behalf, justice will prevail on your behalf. It's a way of sending a signature on my behalf today. It could be for you or your son and loved one tomorrow. I thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all. Y'all have a good day. And God bless you and be blessed.